Thanks again for joining us for Angel's Viewpoint. Every time you take a click on one of our videos or go to our website, we are truly grateful that you are thinking of us and you want to hear what I have to say. And hopefully soon one of you guys will want to share your wisdom and your life lessons with us so that Angel's Viewpoint can be a community thing, which is what it is intended to do. But as in everything in my life, I move forward, and I'm going to continue to share with you my life lessons and the wisdom that I've learned until you're ready to talk to me, which I hope is soon. But today's show, we're going to talk about how you create boundaries for yourself and you kind of stay in your own way. And the number one way that I have found in my own life that I create boundaries or I get in my own way is by being negative. You know, it took my mom saying something. I was planning a trip and I said, oh, you know, I don't want to do this way because this person is going to react that way, and I just, you know, I don't want to get into that type of situation. And my mom said, well, I know you're not a negative person, so you can't possibly be expecting the worst to happen during the trip. You must, you know, that's not you, Angel. And I thought to myself, okay, Mom, a great way to kind of, you know, lay that one on me, correct me, but in a kind way, saying it couldn't possibly be you, Angel, when I know good and well it was me in that moment. And I have had moments in my life, a good portion of my life actually, where I was just a negative person. You know, when it came to talking to other people about their lives, you know, I would encourage them, there's nothing you can't do, blah, blah, blah. And when it came to myself, you know, I wouldn't say negative things necessarily, but I would expect them. And I think that expecting negative things kind of became my buffer, you know, it kind of became my way of protecting myself. So if I don't expect anything good, if I don't expect, if I expect the absolute worst possible scenario, then when it happens, it won't be so bad. But that is not the case. Even when you expect the worst possible scenarios, if the worst possible scenario happens, you're still equally disappointed, you're equally sad, you're equally devastated depending on the event. So being negative doesn't help you. It doesn't protect your heart or help you in any way. If anything, you draw to yourself how you feel about life and how you view life. And if you view life through a negative lens, you're going to draw negative situations to you. And I was doing that for a long time in my life. And I couldn't figure out why I kept coming to the same fork in the road, the same pit, the same rock. I kept falling and stumbling over the same rock, kept falling into the same hole. And it was because I was expecting to. Honestly, I really was expecting the worst, thinking somehow that would save me from harm, and it didn't save me at all. I still have the same ups and downs in life as everybody else. So, you know, you really, if you're one of those people, and if you don't know that you're doing it, you know, I would encourage you to step back and look at yourself and say, do I always expect the worst in every situation? And do I have a negative attitude? There are so many popular books now. There's so many authors, Christian, non-Christian, all kinds of religions, no religion, people out there talking about, you know, the positive, speaking positive and the power of doing so. And I'm jumping right on that bandwagon because I have began to change the way that I think, first of all, because before you can change the way that you speak, I mean, you can do it, but you're not really going to be sincere about it. And it's not really going to work if you're just saying stuff to say it. I mean, it may get you to the point where you believe it. So I'm not saying don't say it, but I am saying begin with your thought process. Begin in your mind and change the way you think about life. Understand that being negative is not going to protect you from anything. And if anything, it's going to bring the bad to you. And if you, there's a saying that I always tell my friends and family members and people that I meet, that if they, and when they're, if I'm counseling them or encouraging them or whatever, and they're really going through something, and they're being negative about it, I always tell them, well, you know what? At least if you're positive, you have a chance of being successful. If you're negative, if you're just saying it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, oh, this is going to be horrible, oh, I knew it was going to end up like this. That was my favorite thing to say, oh, I knew that would happen. Well, if you knew it, then why did you even try to do the thing in the first place? If you know it's going to fail, then sit down somewhere. Don't even get up. Don't try. But, if you're going to at least, if you're going to put that effort in there, that time in there. Our last show was about time, and budgeting your time. And if you're going to do all of those things, if you're going to read the books and you're going to budget your time and you're going to watch shows like this and all the positive things there's so much negative on the internet, but really when you look into it, there's all these positive saying things, feeds that you can get on social media and, pages to like that will give you positive quotes all day long. But you can have positive quotes up in yin yang all day long, and if you're not going to think positive, if you're just gonna read them but not change your mindset, you're not gonna get the fruit of that positive mind frame, and you're not gonna get the fruit of your words. You have to change the way you think, and the way that I'm encouraging you to do that is to just look at your life, and if you being negative has worked for you, okay, well then I'm wrong, and there's no changes that you need to make. But if being negative has caused you to keep coming up against the same wall, falling into the same pit, stumbling over the same rock, then exercise wisdom and stop it. Just stop, and make a different choice. Make a conscious, different choice to think positive. It really works. It's not some mumbo-jumbo, spiritual, new age, whatever you want to call it. Or those are for religious people or spiritual people, and I'm not really a spiritual person. It just works. If a principle works, if putting something in the ground and if putting a seed in the ground and tilling the ground and watering it and putting it in sun, and make sure there's sunlight and taking care of it and keeping the weeds out, if that process works to create a plant or a fruit of some kind, or a tree or whatever you're planting, if that process works, then you should put that process in place if you want a garden. And if you want a different life, if you want the life that you say that you want, you have to change your mindset, and you have to stop being negative. Negative words have so much power. Everything that you see on the earth was created from something that you don't see. So whether you believe in creation or you believe in evolution, everything that is still came from what was not. And it came from thoughts and ideas. And Thomas Edison decided, I'm going to put all this effort in here, but, electricity, it's not, it's not going to really work, no light bulb, we wouldn't have one. And it may have took longer for somebody else to come up with the idea and bring it in to get it done. So, he couldn't be negative. He had to believe beyond what he could see. So believing and being positive, even though your circumstances, and I get it, I really do. A favorite phrase of mine among my friends is, I dig it, I get it. I understand that it's hard to believe when you've had a crappy life, when negative things keep happening to you. It's hard to break that cycle and say, okay, now I'm going to believe good things are going to happen. Oh, yeah. But if you do, if you really just change your mindset and say, you know what, I've been negative all this time, and it's not working for me. Maybe I've caught a lucky break here and there, but my life is just not where I want it to be. I'm not a happy person, and negative things just keep happening. Change your mindset. Expect the good. Expect the positive thing to happen. There are always two outcomes to every situation. Well, three actually. The thing can change for the better, it can change for the worse, or it can stay the same. And if you want it to stay the same, then don't do anything. If you want to change it for the worse, then be negative. But if you want to change it for the better, then you need to be positive. You need to believe that it can change. And being positive is really not some hokey thing. It really simply is just believing. Believing that it could turn out the positive way. Like I said, there's three ways things can turn out. And if you get to choose. You get to choose if it stays the same. You get to choose if it turns out negative. And even when somebody does something negative to you, you get to choose your response. I talk a lot about, because I like to control things. I always talk about that. I'm honest with you. And there's so many things in life that you can't control, but you can control your reactions and how you and how you approach life. And so you don't have to respond with negative to somebody's negative behavior. You can get the lesson out of it and you can keep moving. And when you're faced with a situation that can go either way, choose the positive. Think positive. I've been doing this for over 2 years now. I changed my mindset, and there's some areas in my life where I didn't. And I'm still eating the fruits of that negative behavior. But in all the areas of my life where I choose to believe the positive, or I choose to believe the good, I'm eating the fruit of that positive thinking, that positive speaking, that positive mindset. So, I've said the word positive probably 1,000 times in this 10 to 12 minutes, but I really want you to get it. Stop being negative. It doesn't work. You call yourself cynical, you might think it's cute, and that's fine if you want to stay where you are. But if you want to grow and you want to help somebody, or you want to help yourself, or you want to be the best person you can be for your family, be positive. There's so much good in the world. I know there's so much horror, but there's also so much good, and so many wonderful things can happen if you just believe. If you take the leap of faith, as you will, if you will, and believe and be positive. You'll be surprised at what happens, okay? So thanks again for watching Angel's Viewpoint. Every time you take a click on our YouTube channel or on our website, we are extremely grateful. I'm going to say it all the time. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be positive. Bye.